All right, I'm pumped for tonight. We're gonna roll right into it. It's 8:30. Happy Sunday. I know that we've been doing some switches. I was actually just on the phone with Mina for a hot second before this. And even after going through some of the switches and like talking about Sunday nights and Monday nights, I had a message come through on my phone and I was like, I gotta go. I forgot about another team call. Yeah, the call is tomorrow night. I just completely have my days of the week mixed up. I feel like I'm all over the place. And so if y'all are there too, where it's just like, I don't remember what day of the week it is, I don't remember what event and where I'm supposed to be, take a deep breath, know that you're not alone, and know that this is absolutely 1000% something that we are going to tackle. 90-day sprints. That is the name of the game. We're going to dive into this schedule that we're doing right now for the first 3 months. Drop a one in the comments if you're committed to this with me for Sunday night Zooms and then Monday night Meet Plexus. If we are hardcore committed to this as leaders, and don't you dare think that you are not a leader on this team, because if you are hopping on this call on a Sunday night, you are a leader on this team. If you have one person, if you have a vision, if you've put up a post, that is leading from the front and making sure you're here, right? You're showing up for your goals and your dreams. And so, if you felt a little bit this month like, man, I thought more people would join me by now. I thought I would be further along. I thought that I would be doing X, Y, and Z. I thought that I would have a silver created by now. You're not alone in that either, but things take time. Okay. And we've just come off of a really busy season. And so, I don't say any of those things as excuses. I say those things as we've got to dive in and we've got to row together. And we really, really have to put what we're doing into action and making sure that these Meet Plexus calls on Monday nights are packed, inviting people into them and going through all of the no's to get to the yeses. And so tonight, what I really want to do with y'all is just dive into these sheets. Did everybody, I can see everybody on the screen. If you're not able to have, I love it, Heather, I love it, Mandy. If you are not able to print this, not the end all be all. I love notebooks. I've worked with notebooks. I've worked in corners of my room. I've worked on kitchen tables. Like, you don't have to have all the things to be able to make this work. I don't know if y'all follow her at all, but Ryan Ritz, she is an emerald in the company, I think maybe sapphire now. She worked for the first, like, I don't know, I want to say year or 2 years of her business only solely on her phone. And she thought when she became an Emerald ambassador, she would buy a computer and then she'd really be able to work her business. She never even took it out of the box. She's like, I hated being, maybe she used it once or something, but she was like, I never wanted to use it. And I thought, how cool is that? That we can literally build a six-figure business from our phones. I think sometimes that we get so, and Baker, I know that you have, like, you have only ever really used your phone. And so I love that in this opportunity, sometimes we can get so far ahead of ourselves. Like, if I only had all the printouts and if I only had all of this stuff, I would be able to go further. You don't need anything but Wi-Fi and a dream and a work ethic. And I fully, fully believe that here. I'm going to start with a couple of quotes tonight because these really, really hit me. And I think sometimes I see it in our posts and in our pages and in our chats where people are like, oh, I need motivation. I need this. I need that. Y'all, you don't really necessarily need something more. You just need to do the things that you know to do. And I know that that sounds really basic. I saw another quote today that said something along the lines of, you don't need more advice, you just need action. And I think that that's so true. Sometimes we think that we've got to have the perfect post, we've got to have all of the systems, we've got to have all of the things. And it's not that, it's diving into the things that you're afraid of. And so if you are somebody, and you can read this quote, if you're afraid to take the risk, write it down in excruciating detail, what you're actually afraid of happening, step by step, what happens next when you fail. So often you'll find that it's not that bad when you spell it out. Fear exists in the vague, not in the specific. How many of y'all have gone to put up a post, send a message, do something for somebody, and you're like, oh, I can't because I don't want them to ignore me. I don't want them to not message me back. What if I don't know exactly the way to guide them? And I see it happen in some of our chats where you'll ask like, "Hey, do you want to host a through or a message party for me?" And then they say yes, and we're like, "Well, I don't know what to say next. Like, I don't know what to do next." And so we just stop with the system. Y'all, so often we're afraid of the things that will never actually happen, right? And so I love this to really dive into it. What is it that we're afraid of? And most oftentimes it's rejection. And most oftentimes they're not rejecting us, right? It really has nothing to do with us. We just take it so dang personally. And that's something that if you want this, you've really got to start owning who you are, owning what you have, and going after the next best thing. Because your future isn't shaped by the habits that your future is shaped by the habits you repeat, not the goals that you set. At the beginning of this month, when we hopped on a Zoom and we were going through all of the things that we wanted to happen, and then last Sunday after Super Saturday, and we were all like, let's create all the silvers. Remember that? We were all hyped because we're going to Arizona. I still want that to happen. But that feeling that we get on a Sunday night Zoom has to be repeated every single day. And I can't be there every single day telling you all the things, right? That has to be something that you want within you, not just because of a trip to Arizona, not just because we're selling a pink drink, but because you want something more. The reason that you click join on this is because you want something more. And it's because you have to start staying super consistent. I know what it's like sometimes to look at other people, even other people, some of my really good friends within Plexus. And I'm like, oh, they're so lucky. No, they're not. They just worked really dang hard. And when we work really dang hard, things show up and they start happening for us. And I know every single one of you that are on here tonight. If you put in the time and the effort and you really stayed consistent and did the things that you're avoiding, because every single one of us is avoiding something, whether it's the message that's being sent, the post that's being put up, or staying consistent to the IPAs every single day, right? If this were a 9 to 5 job, question I ask myself daily, would I get fired or would I still have a job? And most often, probably gonna Sam, I love you. I'm gonna get fired, right? Because we're not putting in the stuff, but we still want the paycheck. I want you to want the paycheck, but that also means that we've got to put in the work. We can't have it both ways. Okay. So tonight we're going to dive into a couple of things, and I want to start here with first posts. How many of y'all, show of hands or drop a one in the comments if you're not on here? How many, if you don't have your face on, how many of y'all use Chat GPT? I like use Chat GPT like it's my job. I mean, because it is, but I don't want to think. I don't copy word for word Chat GPT. If you're not using Chat GPT, you're missing out. Because most often what happens for a lot of us is it's like, oh, I need to put up a post, but I don't know what to say. And so we go and like fold laundry or do dishes or do anything but putting up a post or sending a message. So this is something like today, I chat GPT. If I pulled up my browser, I've got 5 different chat GPT windows open right now. I like do everything. Like, how do I create silvers? How do I create momentum? If I wanted to be $1 million earner in the company, what are the systems that I would need to use? I chat GPT everything. I literally asked chat GPT the other day why something was bothering me. And the answer was genius. It was like, oh my gosh, now you're my own personal counselor too. Great. I don't know how I feel about it. I actually hate AI stuff, but okay. Anyway, I want y'all to start doing this. I actually in the chat with Chelsea and Shelby and Baker just before this, we were chatting through like how to send messages to people and getting them interested in messenger events and helping them put up a post. And so I literally just went to Chat GPT and said, could you create an outline of a sample first post? And it did that. Like it gave an outline of it, it gave examples of it. So if this is something that you're not using, here's my top tip with Chat GPT. Everybody is using it and it doesn't necessarily always sound like you. Do not copy and paste it. Okay? Here's the other thing. This little hyphen right here, can you guys see that? Nobody usually actually talks with that or types with that. Take it out of your posts. That's something that is like a hardcore chat GPT thing. Some people use it. If you do use it, that's fine. But I'm even seeing people like commenting about chat GPT posts. If you're stuck, go and explore with it a little bit. Okay. I just wanted to kind of pop that in here. The other thing that I want you guys to say, and will you guys get, I think Kim is on, Kim, you are on here. I know you were putting your kiddos to bed, but can you guys just drop a thank you in the chat to Kim because she volunteered to let me use her back office and sign in as her tonight so that we could do this little training, which I am so excited about because my back office looks different than yours with people that have fallen off, all the things. And so this is something that will be so relatable to y'all so that we can really just dive in. And she was like, I don't have anything to hide. I've got people that are ordering, not ordering, all the things. And so that to me is true growth. Like there's no comparison, there's no I need, or if there is comparison, and I've gotten the chance now to actually sit with her and talk with her, she is so growth minded and driven right now. And so I love that she's going to let us use her back office. But so I pulled up her back office right before here so we could start diving in together. And that little creatine popped up. And it reminded me of a conversation that Baker and I were having over the last couple of days. Oh, I just want to say this to y'all. Basics work. Okay. Have any of y'all ever felt overwhelmed by the amount of products we offer now? It's like there's so many, right, Mandy? It's like, well, now what do I do with this person? And what do I do with this person? That's why we talked so much last week about going back to the basics. Like triplex will always be, and I know Wendy feels like this too, like triplex will always be my tried and true. I will never not take the triplex. If you start feeling like I've got to take all the things, I've got to do all the things, and because I'm a Plexus rep, I've got to take all the Plexus products or I'm not a true Plexus person, that's simply not true. Okay. If you already have a creatine that you're loving, go ahead and keep taking it. If you want to order plexuses because you love that too, and you want to make the switch and you want to get a higher PV, what like that's okay too. So I just wanted to start there with y'all because I think sometimes we can kind of feel like we've got to do all of the things to be successful here. I have never, nor will I ever take every single plexus product. Okay. Don't be afraid to find your fit. It does not mean that what we have here is not valuable. It just means that every person doesn't need every single thing. So please don't get overwhelmed with that and really go back to the basics with what your body needs and what you're listening to your people need. Okay. Okay. And it does not look weak right now. Okay, here we go. This is the paper. I think that one of the biggest things, I'm going to hide the chat just for a second, but if you guys have questions about this, will you please unmute and then I'll try to make sure that I see that popping up on there too. This paper is going to be a non-negotiable for me. I have it printed out too. If you cannot print it, do not worry about not printing it. What I want you to worry about is doing all of the things that are on here. If you do all of the things that are on here, it should not take you more than 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. If you do not have 30 to 45 minutes throughout the day to build your business, that is exactly why you need this business. Because I know for myself, I spend way more time than that waste scrolling or doom scrolling or brain rotting or whatever they call it now every single day. Okay. If you are really intent on building this, I know that it can look like a lot of check marks. You have to dive into this. And the reason that these papers are so dang good for us to have and to dive into, number one, because I want you to track your growth. I want you to see month to month, year to year, where you're at and how you're growing. But number two, I also want to see what you're avoiding. Okay. If you're never adding anybody to your Facebook page, that's like talking to a room with the doors closed and you're never inviting more than 5 people into that. This paper we kind of vetted out. I asked some other people of all different ranks on our team what would be helpful for y'all, what you do, what you don't do, what you wanted to see on here. And so this is something that I really feel like is an amazing overview of where you're at and what we should be doing every single month. Okay. So first thing, and this does not need to start on February 1st. You can start this now, like tomorrow on Monday. Your point growth for last month, whatever that was, you need to mark it down. What your point goal is for this month, mark it down. If we don't, you guys hear me say this all the time. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there, right? If you don't know what the roadmap is and how many orders we need for that new point goal, it's not going to happen. It's just like raking leaves in the wind. So I'm going to go based on Kim's going for senior silver this month. And so senior silver, if you guys can see this, is 50 points. Whatever your goal is, you're going to divide that by 5. Why are you dividing by 5? Can anybody drop in the chat why we pick 5 to divide from? Not just because it's an even, or no, it's not an even number. I was a math teacher. Not because it's just a nice number to divide by. We divide by 5. Yes, it does have to do with the point order. So you get 5 points for your level 2s and 3s. Okay, you get 6 points for your level 1s. The reason that we want to divide by 5, y'all, is because we do not ever want to build a business that is solely based on level 1s. We want to be able to have a business that's based on levels 2s and 3s because that means that we're duplicating. And if we're dividing it by 5, especially when you're senior silver, gold, senior gold, it means that we're overshooting what we need. So Kim's goal this month is 50 points. Dividing that by 5, it means that she needs 10 orders. Whether that comes from her or that comes from people on her team, now we know what she needs, okay? So I already started this. Kim's point goal last month was not 12. Kim, tell me how many it was. I went by
Points last month were 10.
Okay. So now we know that to get 50 points, we're going to subtract that number. So she needs 8 more orders than she had last month. So 50 minus 10 is 40. Divide that by 5. Is everybody following that? If you are not, I know that numbers for some people, it's like you want out the room. But you have to know what you're going for every single month. Drop a 1 in the comments if that's good for y'all. Like you understand how to track your points and how we need orders. Okay. If anybody does not, and you don't want to say it, please message me after this. I don't want that to be lost on anybody. Okay. A couple of things that are really, really important, and I wrote this down to help us. Sunday nights, that's what we're doing now. Did you invite your team builders? You're going to check that off in this box. Monday nights, meet Plexus. You're going to check it off in the box. If you're committed to your business, we need to be inviting to both things. The team that you're helping invite, this would look like, okay, I've got Sally who's loving the products. I'm going to message Sally. I'm going to say, hey, what are you loving about Plexus right now? She's going to tell me energy. I'm going to say that's something that so many people want right now. Can I help you message a few people that you could invite to our call tonight? If you have 3 people that order through your referral link, you get $300 back. It's the same system for every single thing that we're doing. Your goal always is not just to invite new people to that call. Your goal is to help your team invite to that call too. So that's what's going to go there. The team that you're helping invite and the people that you did invite. When you look back on these papers, y'all, if that's blank, you're not inviting anybody and you're not helping anybody invite, that's why your business isn't growing. Because if you're not inviting to events and you're not hosting events, it's not ever going to happen just through posts alone. So the goals and the dreams, those rank goals, that money amount that you want, those trips, the incentives, the contests, all the things, it cannot happen if you're not using the systems to plug into. And I want this paper in front of us to remind us of that. And I'm guilty of it too. I host the events and I don't always invite to them as much as I should. This space here for the extra event for the week on Thursday nights, if you want to host a messenger event. Nikki just hosted one tonight. I know Sam hosted one last week. I know Chelsea and Shelby are getting ready to host one this week. What's the extra event and who are you hosting it for? The other thing that's really, really important, we should be talking to people every single day. I put this space in here, my day for customer care. I'm going to focus customer care for me on Friday. Every level one gets a message. So pick your day of the week to focus in on customer care so that you know who you're messaging and who has subscriptions and when they're going out and what their orders are. And I'm going to show y'all how to do that in just a second. Okay. All right. I use this for Kim's for right now. These are not just all check marks. So I'm going to bring up Kim's back office, and I just filled this in hypothetically for this week for right now. So this top place, some of us have been doing this every day in a group together, and it is so eye-opening where your points are and where your growth is. Because if every single day of the week your points are at 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, whatever it is for you, and they're not moving, we've got to take that as a recollection or a reflection of our business and start moving the needle, right? And so Kim's points are at 12 right now. It means that we need 8 orders left for her. She's got 2 orders this month. We need 8 orders to go. It gives us a focal point and something that we can keep working for. Same thing on Tuesday. If it's at 12, we need 8 orders left. She knows that she wants to be able to see that number moving, right? Especially because we're at the 18th of the month. We've got 12 days left for her to get to that 50 points. Do not be scared of tracking where you're at. It will move you to the next level. What I don't want for any one of us is to just have a back office that we never dive into, okay? We have to be able to go in. So when you're in your back office and you click dashboard, I want y'all to start living in this space. When you click on view report under points and rank, this should be something as leaders that we have first thing in the month, okay? When you click on view report, what I love now that Plexus did, and if you missed this over Super Saturday, this is going to give us our projected total points. So right now, Kim has 12 points. Her projected points for the end of the month are 12 because she does not have subscriptions that are set up on her team. This is something, and Kim, thank you again. This is something that is not just true to Kim, it's true to every single one of us. Because we went through this thing with the FTC a couple of years ago where a company cannot require people to have a subscription on to get paid. So it was like this huge thing. Everybody turned off subscriptions. What that left us with was that we have no idea how to track where our points are at the end of the month. So we have to have a push on our team because if Kim does nothing else this month, nobody else orders, it means that she's going to end with 12 points. Okay. The way that you can see this, if you scroll down, y'all, this is all movable. And it's also, is toggable a word? I don't know if that's a word or not, but I just said it. So this space right here, you can show and hide columns to get them closer together. So you can hide every single one of them. You can click on just their emails, their join dates, their names, their sponsor names. If you go to genealogy, you can see their last order dates. I will encourage every single one of you to go in and just play around with this because it's something that is so super beneficial to be able to see in your back office. But for this sake of time tonight, if you scroll across, there is a part right here that says subscription run date and their PV. So Kim has already had her girl that has a subscription on. That has already run. This is going to tell you every single thing you need to know about your business. And so this first person that's right here, I'm not going to click on this because I don't want to show anybody's personal information. But see how it says fulfilling here, but there's no PV and the date was on the 8th. This is where customer care gets really, really important. So this person, when you click on this, it's not still fulfilling in that she just hasn't gotten her order. If you click on it, the reason there's no PV is because she was returning an order. Okay. So if you're going down through your back office and you see things like this, you have to click on it. If there's a negative there, they're doing a return. If there's an order number here and it says CC declined, it means that their credit card did not run. Do not be scared of that. Send a message to that person and just say, hey, I just was doing some back office work and some customer care, and I saw that your credit card didn't run through. I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay, so you're not waiting on products that aren't coming. 99% of the time when I say that to somebody, it's because they had no idea that, or they forgot and they had to get a new credit card. We have to start living in our back office, y'all. We have to. Yeah, perfect. So Kim has already done the customer care because she was in there. And I know Kim is really good about her back office. So she had a subscription that was created and she didn't want that much product. Any questions about this part so far? Is this helpful, y'all, to see this and to see it written out like that? Okay. So when you're going down through every single day on here, I want you to show the check marks for yourself. I'm not asking you to turn these things in, but as you do it, either virtually or however that looks, put a check mark in. If you have somebody that has a subscription that's set and it's under 100 PV, message them. Ask them if they have any other goals. What are they loving right now? See if you can get that up because that's your points. The better that you get at this now, and you know when you log in there that, hey, so-and-so had a subscription set for 126 and now it's at 214 and they pushed it back. I know that I need to go in and I need to ask them what's going on. The more time you spend in your back office and addressing customer care, the more your points are going to grow because happy customers refer people. So going down through this, the returns and the refunds, so Kim could mark this off, right? If subscriptions get pushed back, this is all back office work in the top part of this. The reason that I put 3 business messages, you need to be in conversation every single day about people sharing. This does not have to look like, hey, do you want to go diamond? It just needs to look like, hey, do you want to be able to use your referral link? If you do, you get an extra $300 using the system that we already have in place. Following up with active conversations. Maybe you had somebody, I've got 3 people right now that had carts out that are not talking to me. Like they just stopped. They like aliens abducted them. So every day I want to be going back in, not every day to the same conversations, but following up with people and making sure that they know that I'm still there and that I'm loving on them and following up. 3 to 5 new friends on social media. If you're not growing your social media accounts, you're just not going to grow, right? We constantly have to have a new funnel. Are you putting up stories and posts on social? Being social on social, right? Like not just scrolling and never commenting on things for people, and then checking the team page and the team chat. And then I added these things down here for the monthly map for who you're edifying and your team goal. So if you have people like I know Heather is working for gold this month, you better bet I'm checking in and I'm checking on her points and making sure whatever she needs that I will be there to help her. Okay. You have to know the things on your team that people really want and are going for because you don't do any part of this by yourself. And once you start thinking that you need to do it by yourself, that's when things start to slide backwards because you're only ever going to be focused on recruiting, and that's not where we're at. Okay. All right. I know it's 9 o'clock. I want to pull up the chat. Okay. Anybody have any questions on back office work or doing this? Again, if you cannot get this printed out, take a notebook that you have that's just solely for Plexus, whatever that looks like for you, and start filling it out. Or if you even just want to use your planner and put things in there, but you have to make sure that you're doing those things daily. If you start finding that like you're just completely not adding people to social or you're not getting in your back office to check, use those things as red flags, right? These are the points that I am avoiding in my business, and these are the ways that I need to grow. Because if you only ever do the things that you love in this, like I would live on social media if I could, but then I would have no glimpse into my back office. And that's something personally that I know I have to get better at. Like customer care on Fridays has to be a huge, huge piece for me. Okay. Anything that y'all want to add or any questions that you have? I know it's not always fun work, but it's absolutely essential to be able to do it. And I know, y'all, that sometimes you're going to get into your back office and it's going to feel like it's not enough, but everything feels like it's not enough to the people that are moving and shaking and dreaming and doing because you're the ones that are pushing yourselves, right? And we have to lift that lid where we think that it's not enough because that just makes us shut down completely. Being super active in the team chat. I know a couple of us have been sharing these back and forth as we've been adding them. I would love nothing more than a team chat at night that's blowing up with these trackers and pictures and you guys really putting yourselves out there for the growth. It is not about you having 12 points or 3,000 points or anything in between. It is about you showing up and knowing that this is something that if you stay consistent with and if you're really doing, you will see the growth. All right. I love y'all. Happy Sunday. Meet Plexus tomorrow. Think about who you're going to be inviting. We're going to do a leaderboard tomorrow. All right. Good night, everybody.